because he still has the biggest secret out of everyone.
Exactly.
Like,
and she knows
and
it.
she's the only one. Well, now Diana, if Diana trusts that, but like they're the only two that fucking know it. Welcome back to your Millennial Group Therapy Session, Baby One More podcast with your hosts, Steph and
Morgs.
And we are back after last week taking off, which can I just say, it was so funny because you and I both didn't even talk about not doing an episode, but we were just the way the week was.
I had no words, honestly.
I literally like almost sent you a memo. This was like prior to the hurricane shenanigans happening, but I had almost sent you a memo just because I knew you had a crazy week, and I was like going to be like, you know what? I'll do an episode since you did like a solo episode. I'll do one. And then the whole hurricane thing happened. I was like, fuck that. Not happening. I know. And fucking try and deal with the boutique stuff. I was like, yeah, we're just going to wait on this. We're just going to wait.
I saw too that you were like, we're going to push the drop this week. I was like, all right. All right.
Nothing's happening.
Everyone knows that if you're in Florida right now, it's the time to be alive.
Yeah. Well, and we didn't know what the fuck was happening with the storm either, because like that motherfucker could have went anywhere.
Sorry, did you hear her? She's playing with this?
No, I actually can't hear her.
She's unhinged today, the cat.
That's
She's
hilarious.
playing with the damn jingle bell.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, it was like literally supposed to be like a Tuesday thing.
Oh yeah, and it kept getting pushed back.
And there's a Thursday thing.
And it was like, is it going to come more west, more south, or more north? And like, you just didn't know. So we were like, let's just prepare. And thank God, we did prepare, because the tornadoes and shit really fucked a lot of people up. So prayers go out to all y'all that dealt with the hurricane and or tornadoes from Milton. And hopefully we won't have any more hurricanes, because we're just not about that life no more.
Yeah, I saw
it was fun when we were
kids. Was like someone's comment on one of the posts I saw was like, Florida's closed.
Yeah,
we're out of service. Please, no more storms.
Yep.
We're done. We are at capacity. My brain is at capacity.
Yeah. We're not welcoming any more storms. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
No, I just can't.
No, and like we didn't even know what category that storm was going to be either. Because like it started out strong, and thank God it like dropped, but like it's still freaking packed a punch regardless.
Yeah, Milton did not light up anywhere amongst the state. So sorry to all the people who still do not have power.
Yeah, or homes for that matter.
Literally, yeah. Fuck that
craziness.
Natural disaster. Can I just say though, this week I was like asking ChatGPT where to live without hurricanes, but of course,
Didn't have other natural disasters.
Totally. Yeah. I half asked my fucking question to ChatGPT. So I'm like, okay, where can I live that doesn't have hurricanes? It tells me I like the Florida climate is what I tell it, of course. Yeah. And so it says San Diego.
I was waiting for California.
Like, bitch, no. So
yeah,
then
we can't do that.
Clarify a little bit further. So
what did it give you?
I said I was open. I said I was open to different climates. And where was it? There was like Seattle, Colorado, Atlanta, and I was like, Miss ChatGPT, did you know that the storm made it to freaking Georgia? Anyways,
that's still not gonna work.
I know. Anyways, I ended up also expanding the search, because I was like, okay, but where in the world? Because maybe
true.
Yeah. So there's this teeny tiny little island called Malta, and it's right under the Italy boot.
Right, I was gonna say it sounds like something that would be near Italy. I don't know why. I knew that.
I think that's the play. Let's look it up.
That's fine by me.
I don't know. I have a list.
Live on our little island.
If anyone would like my search history, it's pretty unfucking hinged. But I clearly cannot take this shit. I refuse to rate my week. There was too many things.
Too many things. There's no rating of the week this week, guys, because it would be 2 weeks long, and we have too many things.
Throw it out. Throw it out.
There's no rating. The ratings do not exist this past week and a half. Which, like, I was thinking that, I'm like, God, what a fucking month it's already been, because the last episode we did was for my birthday, which was literally the 1st of October, because we filmed it the night before. And then we haven't had anything since. And we're already on what's today? The 16th? Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like, what happened? What the fuck happened this entire month? I'm like, I love October, but this is like the worst. I mean, well, we could really push it back to that one year where we had no power for the month of October.
Oh, yeah.
And we went trick-or-treating in the freaking dark with no electricity.
The actual, probably 20 years ago. I think that's what someone was saying. Like, exactly 20 years, like 2004.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was 20 years ago?
I think.
I mean, it would make sense because I'm 33 and I was probably 13.
Right?
When that whole thing happened.
The shit's bananas.
My mom was trying to tell me that I was in fucking elementary school, and I'm like, no, I wasn't.
You're like 6th,
I was like, because I wasn't. Yeah, I was like, I wasn't even really friends with Morgan until we were in middle school. Like, we knew of each other in elementary school, but we weren't friends until middle school. So I'm like, that doesn't check out because we were hanging out every single time there was a hurricane. That was like our thing.
It was definitely middle school.
Yeah,
that shit was crazy.
I know when I was talking to people on TikTok live and they were like, you know, are you safe? Are you okay? Which, like, bless their souls. So such kind people. But, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, do you have power? I'm like, oh, no, we were good with the power. Thank God. But I'm like, listen, I know the loss of electricity for more than like a week. Like, we know it all too well. Like, that shit was no fun.
I know. I feel like after all of that, like, maybe they like kind of updated said infrastructure. Like, maybe it's better over there now too anyway.
I don't know.
Let's not test it out.
I was gonna say, I was like, guess we'll find out one day, but hopefully not anytime soon. We would like to make it to the holiday season without any hurricanes. Please and thank you. Or any more hurricanes at least.
For real. I'm like, this is a lot.
Yeah. And it's all the West Coast. Yeah. It's been like when's the, I mean, I don't want to say anything, but when's the last time one's come up the East Coast? Let's be real. Like,
it's been a bit. It's been a bit.
It's been like West Coast, West Coast, West Coast for like the last, I feel like 6 years.
Because the Gulf is a damn motherfucking hot tub.
That's true.
Just swampy ass hot tub over there. It's a perfect fucking
ruin
storm.
The perfect brewing situation for these storms.
Nasty.
Well,
but anyways,
fuck that shit. We decided that our episode today was going to literally be us catching up on our TV talk because that's all Morgan and I have been doing when we have the free time to do it. No reading here. I mean, maybe you've been reading. I haven't read a damn thing.
So I opened my Kindle. I literally opened my Kindle, read like 3 words and was like, no, too much effort. Can't do it. Can't relate.
Need to just be brain dead and watch TV. But we had so many shows come out, like kind of back to back to back. I think we had talked about recently, and a couple of them we watched but have not discussed anything on.
We've been holding it in deep inside.
Yeah, we need to discuss the things.
I have to. Did you see what I sent you from Paige from Giggly Squad? She messaged Hannah. The two of them.
Wait, did you send me this like recently? Oh, on like TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram, I think. But it was Paige writing to Hannah. I just peed my pants. I don't want to talk about it until the pod. And I was like, this is literally our conversation. It relates so much.
Yes, last night with the Tell Me Lies, I was sitting on the couch. It was like 1:30 in the morning and I had just finished it. And I was like, if you have watched this, I cannot.
I
literally cannot.
I couldn't stay up. I think it was like 11 and I was like, ugh. I was just watching Summer House because like I needed like brain break of like just
all the crazy.
Yeah. And it's like I can't do it. And then I would be like up even longer because so I was like, no.
I literally was like waiting. I was looking at my phone. I'm like, is it 12 yet? Is it 12? And then I went and jumped in the shower and I was like, all right, I am so ready for this. And man, what a strong beginning with all the fucking sex.
Every time I'm like, how did they get this approved on Hulu?
Hulu's got some unhinged stuff on there, though.
Let me see what I wrote down.
Well, I guess, okay, so let's start with Tell Me Lies because this is what's been on my brain. So for anyone that has not watched the finale or like is not caught up with Tell Me Lies, this is your disclaimer to turn off the fucking episode or like fast forward. I don't know till when. I can't tell you that. But definitely,
I can do that for the people.
Morgan will put some like
spoilers.
disclaimer up to not listen until a certain point because we're gonna spoil the shit out of this fucking show because that's what we're here for.
It's
time. So close your ears, do what you gotta do. What?
All right, yeah. Stop listening right fucking meow. I was gonna say we haven't even talked really about the controversial episode.
Oh yeah, we have to go back in episodes. So we got to go back to last week too because we didn't really talk about that. And I'm assuming that the controversial thing was her lying about this essay sexual assault.
I'm
shenanigans.
Like 99% sure as well.
Okay, because like I'm like, what else
Lucy
would be
so unhinged?
I know, and I'm like, is this really something that you would get canceled over? No, there's way worse things that could have happened. But I mean, yes, is it terrible to lie about being sexually assaulted? Yes,
of course.
But she clearly was doing it for her friend. Like, it was. I understand where she was coming from. So, like, I don't know. I just think the way that they made it sound like it was so controversial, and I was like,
I know.
I would love to be in the writer's room, I guess, for that one, but
we just read and watch
and that's true. We read, we read. Our books are way more unhinged than this shit, and I'm like, this stuff hasn't been canceled yet, so I think you're good. But yeah, that episode, it was still a really good episode. A lot of shit happened between like the whole Brie and Oliver and the earrings, which like.
Oh, right. That's how
we'll get to that here in a second. But but like that whole thing and then the fucking ending with what's his face, Steven going to Lucy. And everyone was like, well, we know what's about to happen here.
You know that they're dating in real life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They are. Lucy and Steven are dating in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, I love that. I mean, I love that for them in real life, but
I do, but I'm also like, what?
Well, it makes sense because they have very like, I don't know what I'm trying to think of the word, the passion and like the chemistry is really there. And I feel like for people like when they date in real life, it makes sense when you say that. Like you're always like, okay, that checks out because like the way they interact on the screen, like
or even not like even if they're like in a scene but not together, you're still just like, what was that?
It kind of makes sense. It kind of tracks. So yeah, I didn't know that though. You know, I meant to look that up because I ended up on a rabbit hole about Tell Me Lies on TikTok this morning, and I was like, I wonder if they're dating in real life, and then I just forgot all about it.
They were dating or hanging out or whatever before he even got the call that he was going to be on the show.
Oh, so they knew each other prior.
It for him. Yeah.
Oh.
It was like interesting.
Interesting for real.
I know. But like I do feel like
he plays a very great narcissistic fucking psychopath, that's for sure.
Dude.
Hopefully that's not him in real life. I just want to know, like, how are these people in real life? Because like they do a spot on job. And I know there's been a lot of like things about like his look at the part where he was breaking up with what's her face? Why can't I think of her name? Thank you.
Yeah.
People were talking about like just like how psychotic like in his eyes, and I was like,
I know. Crazy eyes.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Like that's
insane.
But yeah,
I know.
I didn't know that they were dating, so that's
that's
cool.
my fun fact. The other thing I was thinking about today, which if you've seen our post on the TikTok, Tell Me Lies is the 2024 Pretty Little Liars.
That's true.
It literally is.
Yeah.
These kids have so much trauma and like
that's
death
very
and
true.
Destruction and just chaos like around them.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's very true.
Yes.
They definitely
Leah,
like
did you watch Euphoria?
Kinda. I didn't get into it as much. I watched like the first 2 episodes. I want to go back and try and watch it again, but it was right after I had Brie, and I just wasn't like in the right mindset for that show.
Yeah, it
was a lot.
It's heavy, but it's different. And I feel like people were trying to like leave it as like, oh, that's the show, the time, or whatever. But I feel like this is
well, and this, you know, type. Joe was like talking about because he was watching it, even though he says he hates my shows that I watch, but then he's like, they're like,
what's happening?
Oh shit. And then like when she fucked Steven, then went to Leo's and he's like, she's gonna fuck him too. What a whore. And then I'm like, then when they were at the Christmas party thing, and he's like, oh yeah, he's gonna find out about it. This is great.
I love that commentary. That was literally, I turned it on at what time did I text you? Literally 7:31 this morning.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like sitting on my couch, like, oh my God, this is so, oh my God.
The whole episode.
Like, every single twist and turn. I mean, okay, I guess we'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's probably fresher in your head than it is in mine, but obviously it takes us back to the night.
Oh, the pool.
Or I guess takes us forward, I should say, to the night where they're in current times at the wedding, whatever, hotel area, thing, like, venue, whatever the fuck they are. And she texts him to meet her at the pool so he can see her banging her. Is that her? That's not her husband, right? That's just like her boyfriend.
I think it's just the boyfriend, of the moment.
Because Joe was like, who is he? I'm like, I don't know. He's like with her somehow. I don't know what he is to her, but he's with her.
In the first episode, we see him and he's like, oh, I can't be there for the rehearsal or something. Like, he comes later to the wedding.
Yeah. So I don't know what their, I don't know what their love story is, but
none. So, clearly
now,
icky.
So
Lucy
that happened.
Is my first moment.
Clearly we learn very quickly that something is not registering in her brain properly. But that happens, and then he finds out because he texts that, and then she goes back to the room, or she goes to get ready. I'm assuming it's like fast forward to the wedding, or the day of the wedding.
He must have left. You know what I mean? Like,
right, because he's like not there.
We never see him again.
And then Steven texts her that he needs to see her, and
which I also feel they did a great job of us like kind of blending the like past and future, because I was like, wait. When is this happening? Like, it was literally perfect. Like, chef's kiss too.
I know. It was like very, very spot on, which made sense, like why they did it the way that they did it.
Oh yeah.
So they bang at the which I meant to say something. So like, you know, like how he's with Lydia, like he proposes to Lydia, whatever, they're engaged. But when like he says, oh, she can't make it to the rehearsal, but she'll be at the wedding or whatever, in like one of the previous episodes, like I questioned, I was like, are they actually together?
I don't know.
Like, it seems a little, and like, of course they didn't answer that for us. It's like, motherfuckers, because I was like, that just seems a little sus, that like, why is she not here now? But you know, I don't know. Like, is she seeing through you? Probably.
Or like,
a fucked up person.
Still just both of them are fucking around with Lucy. Like, that's what there was some TikTok that said that, and I was like,
because that's possibly true too. But so then they bang, and then it flashbacks to them in college after the last episode left off. And clearly we know that they banged again.
And then Leo, I'm like, oh my God. Okay, though, have you seen?
Well, I know she was trying to like not have sex with him, like you could tell. And then like, I just was like, oh my God, this girl's gonna feel like she has to have sex with him. Like she's so fucked up. Like mentally, she's got some issues from all of the things.
Which they also, I'm gonna like flip around a little bit, but like, did you see me just in the TikTok rabbit hole that it looked like Steven and Leo both have this like behind the ear tattoo? Like, it was kind of like insinuating that like, do they know each other? Are they like,
there's got to be more history to them.
Okay, well, the way they filmed the fight scene at the Christmas party, it flashes between Steven and Leo and Wrigley and the brother. And I'm like, they're definitely like subliminal messaging the brother.
Oh, maybe. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's true.
The way, if I don't have like, you know, because my brain's like if I'm not trying to like, oh, what show are they from? If it's not happening like that, I'm like, you know, I watch with captions because I can't hear shit on these shows. And I'm like, what was the name of that song? What's the name of that song that's playing? Like, dude, I like hyper analyze the shit out of these shows. I can't even fucking deal. Corey can't watch TV with me.
Morgan's always looking for the Easter eggs.
I am.
In everything,
Taylor. Thank
guys.
you, Taylor.
Yeah.
Yes, literally.
But
That
that's
shit was
true.
bananas. But
yeah.
you'll have to watch it again. But the flashback was like so quick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did think I saw something about somebody saying how they thought maybe Leo and Steven were like brothers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very odd. And clearly they both have anger issues.
For fuck sure. And his little smirk once he stops like pounding on him, I'm like,
I was like, gosh, this fucking guy.
I wrote a note that said Marianne seemed so sad, and I don't know where in the episode I wrote that.
The only time she seemed sad was like like when Bree was leaving the house, and it just seemed like she
said I've been there before. Yeah, so she had a weird comment, right?
Yeah. Which I didn't. I was like, are you both on the same page with this open marriage thing? Because it seems like one of you are way more for it than the other one is. It's just odd. Know. And then the comment she made to Lucy, like, I'm glad he just didn't see you first. I was like,
ew.
Yeah. So
I know.
uncomfy. Like, if anything, I would have thought like that shit was more controversial. It's like,
seriously, what? I know.
Like, what is going on?
I know. I kept seeing all the things like, is Bree pregnant? Blah blah blah. Like all like I saw
everything.
People were like, there's 2 different bra sizes in the laundry room. Like people were like diving even deeper than me, and I was like,
yep.
I have no
fucking
idea.
Nuts.
I have no idea.
Literally fucking nuts. But
so then it flashes.
Shit all happened. And I would like to know, because there's been a lot of talk about this too, but like every time when they kept flashing forward to the wedding stuff, she kept getting texts and calls from like a number. Is it Oliver or is it something else?
I know.
Like we don't.
I think it's something else because
it's just weird. Like,
yeah,
they're making it seem like it could be Oliver, but it's like, then what happened after? And also, like, we still don't even know when Bree and fucking Evan got back together.
I know.
Because that didn't happen either. I know.
I'm like, there's so many years. I think, I don't remember how many it was, like 5 or something in between.
Yeah. But yeah, that was freaking nutty. And then what else? Oh, when Diana. Oh, well, that too. I know. But I was also like, yes. I was like, I knew she fucking didn't do that to her on her LSAT. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
Chef's kiss to her. I said, hell yes to Diana and my thing.
That was fucking fantastic.
My one-liners.
Like, I was like, that is so fantastic. Because she played that off so well.
God, I had to make him think it was his idea to break up.
Fucking perfect.
My God.
So love that. Yes, love that for her. And yes, then the Wrigley and the brother, I knew something bad was going to happen. The minute he pulled out the pills, I'm like, this kid's going to die. I just knew it.
So discreetly too. Like, so sad.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking like he was going to just like fucking like pass out, like croak there in the bar. But no, they decided to wait until he threw up and choked on his vomit. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Jesus. And Wrigley, like, I have a place in my heart for him. He's just like a little sad puppy. Like, this poor kid. And I was like telling Joe, because like obviously Joe had missed a bunch of episodes because he like kind of half-ass watches it with me. But he was like confused, and I was like, he hadn't seen his brother like the whole year. His brother like thought he was mad or whatever the fucking case was. And I'm like, and then he sees him for the first time and he basically kills him.
Literally.
Like, that's fucking depressive as shit.
Fucking crazy.
And then when Lucy's gonna fucking finally come clean about writing the letter, even see now, I know she's all like, I can't believe you did that for me. But in my head, I'm like, he did that for you because he still has the biggest secret out of everyone.
Exactly.
Like,
and she knows
and
it.
she's the only one. Well, now Diana, if Diana trusts that, but like, they're the only two that fucking know it.
No, Diana's like, peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
she's like, I don't give a fuck what you did. But like, yeah, he has the biggest, like, he is the reason for all of these other issues.
It's insane. the spider web is so intertwined.
I know.
I fucking can't.
They did
Let
a
me see what else I wrote
fantastic
down.
job. And then, of course, the very ending is
we didn't
also.
know that Evan was in Oliver's class.
Oh,
Dude.
that too. Also fucking insane.
The way like literally my mouth just was open for like the last like 4 minutes of the show.
I know. Between like the Diana thing happening and then the fucking Evan thing and then Evan admitting to fucking like why? Why would you tell Steven that? Like, come on, Evan. That's a secret you keep to yourself. It happened one time. You both were fucked up. Just you don't need, especially to of all people. And then his stupid little fucking remark like, no, I'm not going to ruin anything today.
I know.
I knew something was going to happen with it. Like, you don't just use the word today for no fucking reason unless there's something else that's going to happen.
And they also did a good job of like making us think that it's all squashed already. Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't even know.
Yeah. And then the way that it ends.
Okay, Brie also, Lord. I wrote down that Brie said, one last look in the mirror. And I was like, I feel like that was a weird thing to say. Right. But I don't know what, I was hyperanalyzing again, but I don't know why.
But it was a very odd thing. It was very odd. And then, of course.
And then they start playing Mr. Brightside, which I think, you have to fact check me, but I'm 99% sure that the girl who plays Brie is singing the cover of Mr. Brightside.
Oh, really?
At the end. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's really crazy. That was so good.
My jaw was literally on the when the you know, because the melodies are playing.
I know the music. The whole show is just like phenomenal. I'm so glad that like I discovered it when it fucking came out 2 years ago. But like, honest to God, they better not make us wait 2 fucking years for a season 3 because I can't.
I think there's no way because like the hype is so big right now.
Yeah, now it's gotten huge because when it first came out, like I don't feel like a lot of people knew about it.
No,
like I know, like I told you, like Natalie and I watched it, but like I would talk about it and like nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. And then you watched it because of the book.
Yeah,
and then it got like real big. But yeah, it was just like a random show that I turned on one day and I was like, oh, murder porn. Lovely. Right up my alley. This is my genre.
Wait, I don't think I said it, but the thing I posted on TikTok was a side-by-side of Mona and Steven. And I said, name a character that gives the energy of like gonna run over my best friend.
True. Yes.
Like both 100%.
Of them.
Can't. But
dude, the pettiness
that show was
in
insane.
They
did good.
I wonder how many seasons they'll do of it.
I know.
I feel like there's so much.
I mean, filling in the gap of the 5 years, I guess. But that season ended at fucking Christmas break. You know what? I thought it was odd that they gave us 8 episodes, so maybe they'll do a second release in the spring.
That would be cool.
Like, how are you going to give me 24 episodes of Pretty Little Liars in a year and we get 8 in 2?
The first season was 10 episodes, and I feel like there wasn't even as much to like cover. And like I feel like the first season, because it followed the book, for the most part, like we didn't have as much to really like cover. Which, I mean, I understand that like they do that because they don't know if they're going to even do a second season, so it's kind of like, let's just do enough to like get us through. But
I'm like, we're here, we're ready.
Freaking
they sign us up for
nuts. Yeah, no,
it was 100%.
Well,
good. They did good.
Freaking wild. So that was that.
Yeah.
And then we also have been really looking into our documentary.
Oh shit,
the Monsters show. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I had no notes about that.
Huh?
I had no notes written in my
notes. My notes are in my brain for that one.
Yeah.
All I know is I started that, what was it, like last week that I was texting you about it? I finished in like 2 nights because I like needed to know. And like the fact, like we were talking about, like, how do we not know about this? But at the same time, we were like 10. So that's probably how we didn't know about this. Were we really
it's
looking
like not
into
like
that?
we knew about OJ. You know,
right.
like that
I knew about that as
like,
I was older.
Yeah.
But like always heard about it, but like didn't actually know what the fuck happened until I was old enough to understand the logistics. But yeah, what a fucking wild fucking, I don't even,
roller coaster.
It's a show, but it's not a show because it's like real life, like story.
Yeah.
But
wait, did you finish the documentary or just the series? Okay.
I did everything.
Okay,
so I didn't even know there was a documentary until after I finished the series, and I was like, oh, this just came out too. And it's
I
because
didn't
they're up
finish
for
that one yet, but
retrial, or possibly up for retrial, which is
yeah.
why all this is resurfacing. I guess in the documentary they were talking about how the reason all this came about was from TikTok back in 2020. And I guess people were like diving into this story more in 2020
There's
and
been a
started
lot of
posting
media
about
about it.
it. Yeah, posting about it on social media about like, how are these guys still in jail? Like, does nobody know like their story about like being sexually assaulted by their dad, blah, 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 like all this shit. And I guess people like really were bringing light to that. And that's what made all this come about. But there is a lady, I don't know who she is. Like, I don't know. I can't remember like who she is in reference to them, or if she even is in reference to them. But there's a lady on the documentary that clearly is like, no, they should rot in jail type of thing. And she's very much a Karen. But she's just like, she's like, the only reason any of this is even becoming a documentary is because of the TikToks that came out in 2020. She's like, and just so you all know, I have security cameras, so don't try and come for me. Like, this is like this bitch talking on there, and I'm like,
I think she might have been the original prosecutor,
maybe she, whatever it was, she was not wanting them out by any means at all. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. I also was like watching the series, which obviously was like dramatized, and I saw that like a quote from one of the brothers was like, the truth wasn't bad enough, like you had to, you know, like that was sad to read. But obviously I'm on Wikipedia going through the shit as the shit's going down, because gotta fact check as you go around these parts. But
true that
it was just wild. And I didn't finish the documentary. But did they go into like the things that they're doing in prison at the end?
In the documentary?
Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, they talked about how Eric was like really into his painting, and he's like a fabulous artist. And I can't remember Lyle. Oh, Lyle was like basically doing like groups, like group therapy for like
for essay,
anyone else who's been so that was really like the most they said at the very end. I did miss like a middle chunk part because I definitely fell asleep during that documentary. And then when I woke up, I was like, I don't know where the fuck I left off. So I just like started at a random part. But I mean, it for the most part followed what they showed in the freaking series. But what was interesting, and this is what I was telling Morgan. So like in the series, when it first starts, I mean, the first episode, they like, you know, kill their parents at the end. And it's like very passionate. Like I was sitting in the fucking chair and I was like, oh my God, like this just gave me the worst anxiety ever watching that. Like I was not expecting that. I was expecting like a little pew pew. That's it. No. Like the way that it happened, I was like, you don't just kill somebody in that sense unless there is something deep rooted or you are literally a psychopath. Like that is the only like a normal person that just wakes up on a Wednesday and goes, I feel like killing my parents today, does not do it in that fucking manner.
I would hope not.
Like
I feel as though I watched enough Criminal Minds episodes to say, yes, there is a deep-rooted issue here that needs to be addressed.
So I was just like, oh my God.
And it was the 90s. That was like the other piece of it too. That like,
so a lot of things were not talked about the way they are now. But it was very insane, that part. So then immediately I'm like, these two are fucking psychopaths. Like that was my immediate reaction to it, because I'm like, I mean, Lyle looks like a fucking psycho in the show. Like he played
the actors were so good.
Played that very well. So I was like, okay, like definitely they're guilty. Fuck them. That was my initial thought. But then as you get more into
I didn't even. I waited. I would probably be a good juror.
Because I'm like, nope, you're guilty.
I was like, give me the fucking tea. Give me the tea. How did we get here?
I'm just like, no, they're fucking rich little kids who want their parents' money, and they're fucking psychos. And I was, like I said, I was thinking like Lyle's a psycho, and Eric just like went along with it because exactly. Because I'm like, I feel like he doesn't have anything to do with this, and it's just the brother who's like fucked up in the head. So then as we get more into it and the whole thing comes out with like, the one was the episode where Eric, like it was just Eric confessing like everything, that episode that's when like I immediately was like switched complete 180.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no, these kids definitely went through some shit and like something happened. And
they did a good
job even imagine
to like drop a hint, because the whole thing was like different perspectives, and it's like they dropped a hint with the therapist at first, and it was like him not saying something, or like even when the brothers were interacting at one point, you like get a we're not getting everything.
Yeah, because they would say like, I'm not going to bring that up, like, or Lyle would say that. So it was very interesting. Like, you knew there was definitely something rooted from that. But then as it continues on, and then there's like the stuff about Lyle basically making it sound like he's just going to make up shit to that fucking woman that he was like confessing all the shit to. Then I'm like, okay, now who the fuck do I believe? I'm like, because at this point, I feel like Lyle's still a psychopath and Eric's the one who has like some deep rooted trauma and is fucked for life from something. But I'm like, I don't know who to trust. Cause like that's if I was like a juror, I would be so confused. I would literally I'd be like, can he get off scot-free? And now
right. You're like, I don't just like, know.
Yeah. Like this one I'm questioning, and this one I'm like, no, you had something like terrible happen to you.
But I also like didn't know how that worked. Like obviously they're two separate individuals. I didn't realize they like couldn't have the same person. Is that dumb? I don't know. I don't know anything about court system, but like
I didn't know either. I thought it like they would both be represented by the same person.
Right?
But it was very interesting.
And that woman was like, it was insane that she had a case so similar right before, whatever.
Right. But then I also think they got fucked. Right. I was going to say, I also think they got really fucked. One, when they had to do a retrial, like that immediately fucked them, because what they talk about, and I don't know if they talk about this in the series, but in the documentary, basically what they had talked about was when they did the retrial, the only two options was either like first degree murder or like
it was life without parole or the death penalty.
But they didn't even have like, basically it was either like they're gonna die in jail or have the life without parole, or they get off like completely free. There was no like, they couldn't have been whatchamacallit, what is the word when you get blah 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 for manslaughter? What is the word I'm looking for?
Like house arrest or something like that?
No, there's like there's a word in like the technical term that I can't think of for, they were blanked for manslaughter. Why? It's an easy word. It's right on the tip of my tongue. What is the word? Well, yes, but no, it's not that word either. I'll have to look it up. Somebody's screaming on the other end of this podcast, like, it's this, dumbass. Whatever, though. But like, they couldn't have that, basically. Okay. And originally, that was one of the things, was that it could have been manslaughter, but then that was taken off the table. So basically, the one person, there was a person from the juror talking in the documentary that was like, they basically gave us like, either nothing happens to them and they get to walk free, or they're like sentenced for life and or death.
That's not fair either.
Right.
I feel like people
there's
get off
middle ground. And that's why basically this came out, because it's like they've been in jail for this long, and like we kind of need to revisit this and see like there are people, because then you look at the OJ Simpson case, and that's what I was gonna go back to. But like, I think that also fucked them, because this guy got off. How?
Yep.
No clue. Literally no idea. But he got off with nothing. A little slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Be free. And then their case comes after, and they're like, nah, fuck, because people are pissed that he was found not guilty. So like, they're gonna be like, no, fuck the justice system. These people are going to jail. I think they got really fucked.
I did look up that OJ was really in the cell next door to Eric.
Was that for real?
And
I just didn't know it happened at the same time, or like not necessarily at the same time, but the like
overlap.
Their paths crossed. I
know,
that was wild.
But then also the whole situation with Eric and the microphone.
The
mic, like I felt like that was like an extended amount of time to focus on that, but that it happened.
What's weird is they didn't address that much in the documentary.
I mean,
they didn't talk about it in there. but like they really honed in on it on the series.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it kind of made him almost even more like of the reliable source
yes.
because he's just like nervous and like
Yeah.
whatever, and you're just like, oh my god, this
I
poor
know.
fucking guy. Like,
I know. And then it makes him look bad because like they're not, I don't know. He's not able to like be like in tune with his emotions because he's fucking around with a microphone. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't know.
90s
Well,
technology.
what do you think, Morgs? What if you were on the juror back in 2000 and whatever it was? Would you have found them guilty or not guilty?
I mean,
the first time around, I guess.
That's like, yeah, I would have been with the ladies that said the manslaughter. Like, I would have believed them, especially at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seemed like, yeah, I don't remember who else spoke. There was a lot of family members and like,
and that was what was interesting too.
You, but, like,
right. It's like,
you, but
I know that they were calling people saying like, say this, say that, but it's like how much of that was true and not true. But then they did say, and this was interesting too. This is why you have to watch the documentary. In the documentary, they did say there was, I don't remember who it was that was talking about this, but that apparently there was a family member that said something that they had seen something happen back in the day with either Lyle or Eric and the dad. And they were like, they never even touched on that in the case. Like when it was the second trial, like they never brought that to anyone's attention and like it was brushed under the rug. And that was a huge piece that could have like saved them from what happened because like that was somebody who was like saying, I witnessed this with my eyes. This wasn't made up shit. So
sad. I know. I still have to finish. I watched like the first like 15 minutes, but then I was like, all right, I'm at capacity of this content. I need to switch. It was a lot.
It was a lot. I literally watched that all, like I said, in like 2 nights. And then the following night I was like, oh, there's a documentary. Let me put it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting. So there's that, in case you guys haven't watched that.
I know.
You know, did
you ever watch that? I think it was during COVID times. There was some other series that came out. I think it was on Netflix, and it was like some guy who got like imprisoned, but like wrongfully, and there was some organization that was like helping him get out or get retried. I heard of this.
I don't know if I watched it, but I feel like I heard of this.
And I feel like that's what they need, you know? So I don't know. That shit was wild. That shit was wild.
Very wild. Definitely not an easy watch. I feel like every episode I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting this. Like I went into this blindly and that was a lot, very heavy.
Oh, and I didn't realize it was the Ryan Murphy produced or whatever from American Horror Story.
Oh.
He had done Monsters, the Jeffrey Dahmer with Evan Peters.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is a series. Like I didn't really get it at first.
No, yeah. Joe put it on randomly and I was like, oh, I wanted to watch this. And I was like, this is based off like a true story. And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's just like it. He goes, it's literally like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing that they did on Netflix. I was like, I mean, listen, I'm here for those because I find that interesting to watch it like play out. Like more than like I love my docu-series, I love my documentaries, but like watching it like kind of play out, I feel like is more entertaining. So that's probably why they're starting to do more of those. They probably realized it worked really well with the Jeffrey Dahmer one, so like let's do another one. What's next? Who's the other fucked up guy that would fuck girl or not fuck girl? Well, he probably fucked girls too. The dude from like Tallahassee, the serial killer in Tallahassee. What's his name?
I literally don't know, but I know. But yeah, Florida
you know
State
who I'm talking
thing,
about.
Yeah.
Well, they made a movie. What's his face What's his face was the fucking main character that I can't think of the psychopath's name.
Oh,
Zac Efron.
Oh, yeah, Zac Efron. I watched that.
What? Why can't I think of the name of the killer?
Wait. Hold on. I'll find it.
He was like very like fantasized about because he was an attractive male.
I saw a funny clip about that. Hold on, let me find it because Ted Bundy.
Thank you.
But there was some interview with him, and I think like a co-star was interviewing him,
Mhm.
and she said like, "Oh, what's your favorite character you've ever played?" And he says Ted, but he means is he the voice?
Like
Oh no,
Teddy.
Teddy. He says
from
Ted or Teddy from Neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, I thought you meant Ted Bundy."
Yeah, my favorite character was the psychopath, the serial killer.
God, right? I was like, ew.
Dude,
like,
I would I never actually watched that. What was that on? Because I never watched
feel like it's
it.
Hulu, because I feel like I'm in deep in Hulu land still.
I'm gonna have
but
to
maybe
look.
it is Netflix.
But I never
we
watched
have it now, obviously, for a little longer.
Right. I don't remember when that came out, but I never got into it. But it was a movie, right? It wasn't a show, or was it a show?
I think it was a movie. I have it.
See, they need to do a series. They need to do a Netflix series on that.
It was
Netflix. If you're listening to this,
108 minutes special.
Oh, okay. See, that's a special. I want a series. But anyways, I'll have to see. I'll have to watch it and see if I need more.
Oh wait, I think it did say Netflix actually. Yes, it did.
It is Netflix.
Netflix.
I'll have to put that on tonight then. Well, I fucked
that
up.
one was
my son trying to get the crib again. They woke up from their nap very early.
To cover it?
Yes, I have to wash them though. I don't know where Joe is right now. Joey, stop eating the crib.
Oh, I forgot you could talk to them. He's a fucking beaver. Can I tell you? I was literally in tears when you said that.
He literally is a fucking beaver. That's what I've been calling him. And then Brielle's trying to poop. The chaos. Thank God Joe's home right now. I was like, I just need an hour to myself to do this podcast. So if they wake up, Godspeed to you. Because
it's literally,
I cannot. But I guess the last little thing we'll talk about before we close up shop is Love is Blind, because Morgan's not very far in, so we don't have much to talk about there.
I can tell you right now, I am currently on episode 3, and I have 24
so you haven't
minutes left.
You haven't even made it out of the pods yet,
dude. No,
they're so. Listen,
can I just read you the list though?
Yes, please read me the list.
These are my notes. And this was literally, I made my mom watch the first episode with me, but when I say the
that's
first
why
episode,
I thought you were sooner through.
Right. I watched 30 minutes with her, and then her bedtime alarm went off, and I was like, we should go to bed. So, okay. So these are my notes from the first 30 minutes, okay? But I do think I'm spot fucking on. Ashley, A, and Tyler, rooting for them immediately. Nick equals Dick. I'm predicting a love triangle. No, Hannah, no, which we now know. She did. Leo, I think he's going to get fucked over. I'm not sure what happens with him yet, but feel free to spoil. Brittany, ew, poor girl, the trophy wife. Taylor and Garrett, the science guys. I was rooting for them immediately, and also rooting for Tim, and I didn't even catch her name. Still don't know who it is. Tim and whoever Tim's with.
I can't remember her name right now, but they're together.
And I was also, the only other note I have from like episode 2 was the guy talking about how he almost died from a camel. And
which somehow I missed that. No clue when that happened.
I'm like, do I just skip to episode 3 or 4 to get out of the pods? Right. And maybe I'll be more entertained.
Maybe. To be honest, it's very slow this season. I don't know why, but I know it's very sad. But I will say that the first like 3 or 4 episodes where they're in the pods, I mean, it didn't get good until like the very end of the pods, because basically everybody you named ends up with one another. Because it's Tim and the random chick that I can't think of her name right now either. But her, yes, thumbs up. Then there's Tyler and Ashley. They're together. Yes. Garrett and
Taylor. I just saw them get engaged off the pod.
Okay, yeah. So then her and him, and then
Nick
Steven.
and Hannah.
Did you get to Steven? And I can't think of her name.
The one. Have you seen is he the one dilated pupil guy?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't checking that hard. I don't know.
Okay, the only thing I might know.
He's got red hair. He's like redhead.
Was he the one talking about politics? Do you remember?
Two of them talked about politics, so I don't know. He was the
I
one.
think it's him.
I don't know if you've gotten to this part yet. He was the one who I can't remember her name. I don't know why, but I really like her and I can't think of her name. But he's with her, and
Monica?
he basically, yes.
Okay.
Monica,
yes.
And he was telling her how he has like some part black in him. And he was very proud of that. So anyways, like they're together. Well, they were together. Spoiler alert.
Fuck yeah.
They got
Give
engaged.
Me a spoiler. Give me the things I need to watch.
They got engaged. So they were a couple, Hannah and Nick. Yeah. Freaking the Garrett and Taylor.
Leo and Brittany or
favorite. No? Leo did propose to Brittany. They get out of the thing to meet each other. It is the most uncomfortable thing ever. Like he is clearly head over heels for her, and she is like not feeling it at all. And then they talk about how they are like gonna possibly, if they don't get to be picked to go to Mexico, because I guess they can only bring 6 couples to Mexico, that instead they'll go to Miami. And so then after you see them get engaged, a black screen pops up with writing on it that says Leo and what's her name? Brittany. Leo and Brittany do not go to Mexico, but do go to Miami. And then they break off the engagement 2 weeks later or something like that.
Oh my God.
And let me just tell you how there is a person I follow on Instagram and TikTok and all those things. His name is Jared, and I can't think of his last name, but he does a lot of reality TV stuff. And he has a podcast called That's All or is that the Bachelorette one? I don't know. There's one it's one of the Bachelorette ones. Anyways, he posted, I'll have to send it to you. He posted a fucking Instagram about basically like Netflix, how are you going to do us like that? Give us fucking Leo and Brittany, literally the train wreck of the season, and then send them to Miami where no one can fucking witness them. Like you couldn't just add them to the fucking group that went to the goddamn Mexico. Like, oh my God. I have to send you
don't have the fucking budget for one more couple.
They're like, you do us dirty like that, but you did like the people that you fucked up last season. Like that was okay, but they were trying to be like, we're trying to protect people's hearts because we really want people to find love. Okay. So it was just hilarious. But yeah, they don't make it farther on the show, which I'm like, can we please see them some more though? Because
they're going to come back. You know, they always have the things.
I hope so, because I haven't seen them at all in any of the previews. And last week they had some previews for this, which I'm excited for today's episodes, because today just dropped some episodes because it's Wednesday.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. you were very far behind.
I'm trying to see. Yeah. I'm trying to see where we're at. How many are we at? Oh God. We're already 11 episodes in.
And this, I'm thinking this cluster of episodes is where the drama's going to be drama.
It took 11 episodes for fucking drama, sweet
Lord. Yeah. Well, there was some drama here and there, but this is when they all get together for like a masquerade party or something. Okay. And the people meet who they were talking to in the pods and some stuff. So there's like all that. But then, so that happens with them. Hannah and Nick are still together. Very uncomfortable couple. He's really annoying, but like she's no better. Like, to be honest, both of them just, I don't want to be in the room with them. Let's just put it that way. She thinks she's like all that in a bag of chips. And then she kind of like makes him feel like an like, I don't know. She like kind of like steps on him, like belittles him. It's kind of fucked. Even her family, when they met him, her parents made a comment like, you need to be a little bit nicer to him. Like, you're kind of a bitch.
Oh shit.
Like, no joke. So it's really interesting how like that twist, because then she sees him and she's like, you know, you were talking all this shit in the pods about how you pull all these girls, and like, you ain't anything, you know, crazy. Like, that's what she's thinking in her head. And you just got to watch to see. But so they're still together though. The Taylor and Garrett are still together. They're my number ones, them and the Tyler and Ashley. Some shit goes on with them. I'll let you get to that point. It literally, that's kind of how it left off on last week's episodes. So you'll have to like watch that. I personally don't think it's as big of a deal as they're making it. I feel like they needed some drama, but like also he could have brought this up in the pods.
Oh, interesting.
It was just like something that like could have been said. Yes, but like was left out. And the way that they like bring it up makes it seem like it's a bigger deal than it actually is.
Production.
Yeah, they have to like bring some drama. So there's that. So there's them, the Hannah, Nick, the Tyler, Ashley, the Tim, and I can't think of her name. They go through like a little bump in the road when they're on their Mexico honeymoon shit thing. But it's really cute. He like asks for the dad's blessing when he sees him. And the dad has what did he end up having? We knew it was something, but I can't think of what it is now. He has like an actual like disease. So, what is it? Is it ALS? Is that a thing? ALS? It might be that. Don't quote me on it, but there's something going on with him.
Okay.
So, but it's really, really sweet. And then, so they're still together. Then the Steven and the Monica, like, it was interesting because like I thought they were going to be a really strong couple, and then you start to see his true colors, and he's actually a fucking douchebag.
Oh, sad.
So like something happens with them where he talks a lot about like sexual type shit, and then you find out in the last like group of episodes that he was basically like out gallivanting and like I guess kind of cheating on her. Like he was like
the first thing we see from him is that is literally them talking about cheating.
So. And then he makes a comment when they're in Mexico about like, you know, like we're going to basically get famous and like we're going to have girls basically reaching out to us. And like we just, you know, it's weird for guys because like we're not used to this. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then like they end up having this whole thing happen where she like finds text messages that he was like basically like messing around or wanting to mess around with some other chick. We really didn't get deeper into that, but that cuts out like because Taylor's in the room with her and she's crying, and then Garrett comes in and I'm like, oh, they're so sweet to her. And even Taylor makes a comment like, she was like, poor Monica, she needs a Garrett because like they're just so good. I hope that they make it because they're my favorite. But so then that whole thing happens with them, and then the only other couple that I'm missing is, and I'm not gonna remember either of their names. It's
it might be the camel guy. Oh, I just got to him. I think he was in. There was a love triangle with the camel guy. Him and the camel and the.
Okay, so the camel guy is the guy who's like Ukrainian and he was in the military.
Yeah.
Okay. She does. I can't remember disclaimer, his name, I'm spoiling this for you. She does not end up with him. Yeah. With the camel guy. She ends up with Ramus, Raman. I don't know his name. I'm definitely butchering it. I don't know what it is. It's something with an R. But she ends up with him, and I can't think of her name either right now off the top of my head. But she's the one who's also been in the Navy. She was in the Navy for like 6 years or something like that.
Exactly where I'm at, and they like start to not put their names up, and I'm like,
but I missed it. She ends up with the Ramus guy. And let me just tell you, I thought they were like the golden couple of the show. And then you start to see them like start to slip because he's really not fond of the fact that like she was in the Navy. Like he doesn't like the military or war and stuff like that. Yeah. So like that starts to kind of creep in. And basically like when he met her family, which her mom, oh my God, most uncomfortable fucking conversation ever because she's like a single mother who has 4 kids and is like, I don't give a fuck. Like my daughter's going to be a lawyer one day. You're signing a prenup and like this isn't going to last basically. Like shit like this doesn't last. It was like very uncomfortable.
They showed him. I think that was like the last thing I watched was him saying like, yeah, I could stay at home with the kids. Like you have a law degree, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
it's
interesting.
It's very, but anyways, so she brings up the fact that like, you know, the military is a huge part of her life.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, you know, I respect that that's a huge part of your life. But like, honestly, if you ever went back into the military, like immediate divorce. Whoa. Like not even going to fucking bother with that. And like he said that in front of her friends and her friends are all like former military or in the military. And they're like, the fuck?
Whoa.
Like, so you would just be like,
all right, you're convincing me to keep watching.
Yeah. Like the drama comes. It definitely took a minute. Like those first fucking I never liked the pods.
I know.
I've never enjoyed the pods except for the first season, and that was because it was like new. So like we didn't know what we were getting into. And like, I feel Nina was on it, so I wanted to watch her. But
yeah, well, in the first couple that gets engaged, like I love to watch them, and then I'm like, no, like fast forward. So
yeah,
I think I'm gonna fast forward a little.
Yeah, just get to like the point where they go like, you
to
see
Mexico.
all the couples and they go off to
Yeah.
Mexico. Because you basically know like who's gonna end up together. So
yeah, my
and
sixth
I mean
sense, I already fucking
feel
knew.
like and I was gonna say I feel like most of the stuff shared in the pods doesn't really come into play.
Right.
So I feel like Brie is literally losing her marbles right now. I don't know
She's
if you
trying
can
to poop
in the background. I have no clue what she's trying to do. I'm like trying to look and see if I can see anything in their bedroom, but because I have the monitor, I don't know if they're in there or if they're in the living room.
Oh.
But I hear her outside the door.
She's doing
Anyways.
something. She's like, who's mom talking to again?
Yeah. She's like, oh, Auntie Morgs.
Aww.
Actually, now you've been getting confused with Auntie Gibbs. I'm like, oh my God, Brie, I'll get it
Though.
together. Yeah, we've learned a new name.
Yeah.
She'll figure it out one of these days.
So good.
Well,
anyways,
I hope you all enjoyed our reality TV check-in for reals. This was an entire episode of it, but we really had nothing else on the radar. And we've, like I said, we had a lot of TV to check up on.
We did.
I'm glad we saved it for this because I needed to talk to someone about it. I'm like, I have nobody to talk to about this stuff with.
I know. What's next week? We don't even know yet. What's even the date? I don't even know.
Well, I do think that next week we could do, if we wanted to, a more maybe like serious topic since we haven't had one of those. I don't know what yet, but we could get into that.
Okay.
And then the following week is Halloween. And I thought, what a better time than to talk about the Halloween shenanigans of the past because we haven't had a chance to do that. And I think we have some good stories. So, and maybe not so good stories too. Yeah. But so that will be great.
The Hooters shirt. R.I.P.
Oh my God.
The Hooters shirt. Anyways, yes, love it. We'll see. Maybe we'll be serious.
Yeah.
Silly goofy mood. Maybe. I don't know.
And I didn't even get to touch on my shirt. I forgot that I was wearing it. But guys, we do have new merch. Courtesy of Morgan because she knows how to do things and I don't. But we do have these cute little, it's hard to see, cropped hoodies that they say boo you whore with little ghosties. If you know, you know. And also Morgan made some really cute tanks and crop top tees that say on Wednesdays we were pink, which I was going to wear today because it is Wednesday when we're filming this. But I didn't get a chance to do the laundry, or didn't get a chance to do the laundry.
And I have on my Kaylin cardigan swag.
Has on her Kaylin cardigans, the Morgan multi-plaid. If you're curious, we still have 2 mediums in stock. We literally have 2 left.
Oh my God.
Let me just say this real quick though. The way that we have been like slowly selling out of things makes my heart so happy. But good. It's funny because a lot of it is pieces that I named after my friends and or myself.
Dude, so, it's the manifestation. It's the good juju.
I know. I sold out of the Stephanie Shacket. That was the first one to be ever sold out.
I love that. Yes.
Love that. Meant for to us. Be. The Gibby Gray pants just sold out the other day. So they're gone. I got 2 Morgan multi-plaids. I have 2 Lex lightweight sweaters left. Yeah. What else do I have like very low on? We have like one of like certain things, but I'm just saying, guys, if you haven't checked out, this is my little personal plug of my boutique. Go check out Kaylin Cardigans. It's shopkaylincardigans.com, by the way. My father yesterday, I just had to share, this is a true boomer moment, but my dad texts me and goes, hey, there's a fall festival this weekend in like down by his work. I go, that's cool. There's also one up in Wellington, so I think we'll go to that one. Yeah. And he goes, oh, nice. That's the conversation we were having. Yeah. Yeah. Then he proceeds to text me like maybe 20 minutes later and goes, send me the link. So I assume, being that we were just talking about festivals, he wants the link to the fall festival. Sure. Yeah. So I'm like, to the fall festival ? And he goes, no, your shop, being my boutique.
Like, yeah. How did I read your fucking mind?
I go, how was I supposed to figure that out?
Literally.
like there was no other context. Bro. It was like, we're talking about a fall festival and then you're asking me for the link to my shop. It's not like you said, like, send me your boutique. Yeah. Send me the link.
That's hilarious.
For what? Yeah, I just had to say that because dads. Boomers, I mean, my dad has always really got it with the texting. Yeah. He's very great texter. Not at all.
So funny.
It's like fucking over here trying to dissect anything that I don't know. Whatever. Just figuring it
hieroglyphics,
out. Yeah, literally hieroglyphics and what is Father trying to say today? I don't know.
Exactly.
The one time he tried to talk text. You know how you can like talk, not like a memo, but like legitimately like talk into his watch or whatever he was trying to do. The way I had to try to decipher that, I was like, please just call me later and tell me what you're trying to say because none of this makes sense. There was like something about quarters in it and the outside. And I was like, what the fuck is this man talking about
I'm
right
not
now?
following.
Yeah. And to think all it had to do was with an extension cord for the lights outside during Christmas time. Oh my God. None of that was in the memo or the text, though. That's not a so damn word about lights. Wow.
Just put the phone down.
Like, not today. Not today. Anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed the spiral that is Spiral City of our podcast.
Reality TV world.
Yep. And on that note, we will catch y'all next week. As long as there's not a hurricane that decides to come out the fucking wazoo.
Literally.
So, we love you all and check us out next week. Bye.